So Vic Nasty, there it is, my man, the trailer for Freedom. And without further delay, we got our homeboy, Mr. Bart Shatto. How are you tonight, sir?
What is up? My brother
What's
from
going on, you crazy
Peoria
bastard?
mother. Vic Nasty! What's up, my brother? I'm Bart. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm living big as always, Bart. Glad to see you, or listen to you, or what the hell ever.
What the hell ever. Yeah, that was me with very, very tight pants. Yeah.
Well, that was
missed you guys. I really missed you guys. I'm so happy to be back on the show. And you know what? It's so cool that you have this Zach Piper guy on as well. I mean, I was looking him up. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the film Life itself, but I was listening a little bit what you guys were saying about Roger Ebert. He was a huge part of my childhood as well, growing up in Peoria, and Bradford as well. Because I told you guys all I ever wanted to be was like a film actor, TV actor, and my only resource of what was going on in the movie in the Hollywood world was Siskel and Ebert on Channel 47, public, PBS.
Yep.
So, huge part of my life, man. I thought it was way older than you guys, but obviously this thing ran in syndication for a long, long, long time with Roger Ebert and Siskel and Ebert.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, I've got fond memories as a kid, hanging out at Grandma and Grandpa's house, and watching Siskel and Ebert on the boob tube with those guys. They didn't miss it. Same with the Lawrence Welk show. I kind of got sucked into watching that thing too.
My grandma, I called her Bobby. Her name was Opal. She lived in Chillicothe in a trailer for all I can remember, and then she ended up moving to an old folks home in Chillicothe. But every Sunday we would go see her, and she would have rhubarb. No shit, man. She would have rhubarb jelly for me, and she made sweet pickles and rhubarb jelly. And on Sunday evenings we'd watch the Lawrence Welk show.
Man, my favorite thing about that show was the bubbles, man.
I'm glad somebody else seen the bubbles. I thought I was seeing shit.
What's that?
I'm glad somebody else seen the bubbles. I thought I was seeing shit.
Oh goodness!
But yeah, man. That takes me back, man. I mean, to my Peoria days, Chillicothe days, Bradford days. It brings back a lot of memories.
Well, I know you came back home this summer, didn't you, for a short visit?
I did, Big Perm. I want to see my mom. I haven't seen her since our wedding, my wife and I's wedding in Hawaii 2 years ago. So I was like, I've got to see her. And so, my wife Amy was like, listen, I want to fly us out, and you really need to see your family and be close to your family. You haven't seen them in a long time. So we went out there, and we flew into Peoria from Newark. We spent a couple days in Chicago too, but our first stop was Peoria. But my brother works. He's a butcher, right? He works in the meat department at what's it called? Stop and Shop on War Memorial. Is that what you guys have there? Those grocery stores?
Oh, it's a Shop and Save out there.
Stop and Save, yeah. It's a friggin' huge store. So we go in there to surprise my brother. And we're going, and so it's my mom. She's having trouble getting. Well, she's a walker. She has a walker and stuff like that. So she said, we're moving real slow, and the pace is slowing down because we went from Newark, New Jersey to Peoria. So everything went from hyperspace to like everything is so slow.
And we're a little slower in the Midwest.
A little slower. So. It takes us about 10 minutes to get to the fucking store from where we parked because my mom is moving slow, and God bless her. And she's actually doing so well. She kicks butt now. And there's a couple people, slower people moving behind us. So we finally get in the store, and I'm like, where in the fuck is everybody? It's like, I mean, you got this. It looked like we just entered the land of Oz, like the premier grocery store. It's like you died and went to heaven, and there were grocery stores in heaven. No shit. It's like you went into a heavenly grocery store where it's like, the music is playing, and these long aisles of everything is perfectly placed. Everything is perfectly placed in the store, and the aisles go down for like days, miles and miles, and there's not a soul there. It's like you can take your pick of everything and just leave the store without paying. I was just
like a Twilight Zone episode.
I know you guys just take shit and don't pay, but this I felt like I entered a completely different cultural atmosphere. There was no one. I felt like, did some sort of plague hit Peoria and it knocked out like 80% of the population?
It was the zombie apocalypse.
It felt like the apocalypse. What happened to Peoria? Either everybody was on vacation, and when I found out, I was like asking people in the stores, like, where are the people? Where the fuck are the people? Because it was like heavenly for me, because I'm used to being in New York, where it's just like you can't move left or right without seeing the person. And they're like, well, Caterpillar, I guess, and they didn't lay people off, but they're like vacationing for a couple of weeks. So it was like a forced vacation. So nobody was in that city, nor nobody was in that grocery store. It was the most surreal thing I've ever experienced, but really super cool.
Either that or they knew Bart Shatto was coming back to Peoria and they cleared everybody out. Be like, you motherfuckers, get out of here, Bart's coming.
Well, I took a bunch of shit, especially from, I know you guys sell alcohol in that store, a lot of alcohol, so I put a lot of bottles of wine down my pants and left. So, but it was an awesome trip, dude, and it was my goal. It was like, okay, I'm in Peoria. Now I want to eat, and I want to eat really good food because I love the food in Peoria. We were only there for like 3 days, right? And then we went to Chicago to see my buddy who's doing Motown, the musical, in Chicago. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to eat at Leonardo's. I'm not fucking around. I want to have the best pizza on the planet. Best pizza on the planet, okay? And I want to go to Steak and Shake, all right? So, we didn't end up doing either one. We ended up eating at, which was the best pizza on the planet. In Peoria Heights, you guys know the place. It used to be called the Penguin. Now it's called the Tap Room. Is that right?
It may have changed. TNT's is what I last knew it as.
Thank you. TNT's. It was the whole family got together. My brother, all my nieces and nephews, my mom, and of course my wife Amy. And we sat outside in that little covered porch. Had the best pizza on the planet. Drank Jameson. It was an amazing night, and I had such a great time in Peoria. And also, it seemed like all I did was go back and forth to Shop and Save or whatever that store was. That's all I did was like get more alcohol. Okay, Bart, go ahead. I was like going for more alcohol. That's all I did was go back and forth. And then more people started showing up once they realized I was in town. My cousins came from Chicago, so it's like it went from 1 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night. The party at my mom's house, and so I kind of hosted the thing. It's like, I was like, why don't we just have watermelon and corn on the cob, because that reminds me of my summers in Peoria. So we drank wine, we ate corn on the cob, and ate watermelon, and it was a friggin' awesome night in Peoria. It was so good to be back.
Well, Bart, I see where me and Vic rank, man. We didn't even get a word.
You know what? It's on my list to see the VIPs of Peoria radio celebrities, and that kind of brings me to the next thing, because this is not official. I'm going to be doing a lot of, this is sort of unofficial news, but I have been asked to come out next summer to possibly, and it's not official yet, to possibly do a musical called The Secret Garden as a guest artist at Cornstock for like a run of a show, which I guess is like 9 days at Cornstock. But,
oh, hell yeah, dude. That's like 3 blocks from my house.
Really? No shit. That's where my humble beginnings started. So I was approached by my old director. She's not old. She's lovely, and she's young, and she's hot and sexy. Pamela Rears is her name. Pamela Rear. I'm sorry. She used to be Pam Bilberg, but she directs a lot of stuff at Cornstock. And also my director, Cindy Hoy, who directed me in Peoria Players, Pam approached me and said, listen, this is my dream show. I'm directing. And we've been talking about this for years. I said, bring me out. I would love to work with you again. I'd love to come back to Peoria. I want an excuse to come back to work with you and to also spend more quality time with my mom. So she's making this shit happen, bro. So I'm going to be out there for, if everything works and everything's officialized, and I don't get a Broadway show and I'm not doing a film or something like that, I will be out there hopefully for 4 weeks. So we'll have plenty of time to hang, my boy.
Hell
yeah, man.
That'd be fun. That'd be so much fun.
Yes, sir.
We'll
definitely. You'll definitely have to keep us posted on that, man, and we'll definitely make plans to, go have a beer and a burger or something, man, and it'd be a fucking blast.
We're going to do more than that. We're going to do shots, but who's driving? That's all I got.
Hey, I work for a cab company, bro, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
Exactly. You know what? Screw it. We'll just take my mom's car.
There we go. Oh, shit.
You know what? Screw it. I'll just hire my mom to drive us. That would be much better.
Hell yeah. She'd have a great time with us. I don't know about doing shots, but...
my mom's going to run out the car while we drink, so that's what's going to happen.
There we go. All right, cool. Well, Bart, look, I wanted to bring you on. The biggest reason I wanted to bring you back was the movie that you did with Cuba Gooding Jr. Has been retitled Freedom and just recently released down in Australia and New Zealand with hopes that we see it later in the States towards the end of the year, maybe next year. I just wanted to ask you, this thing's done quite well so far down under, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the release and, what it's like, being part of a big old project like this.
I didn't realize that they're going to be using this as such a social platform, this film, which I think is really super important. I think it's a really cool, iconic. It's going to be an iconic film. Once it's released in the United States, I like the fact that they're using this film as not just to garner a big, blockbuster numbers, if that happens, whether it's here in Europe and Australia, but they're really going on a social change of films that can change people's lives, and millions and millions of young people are victims of human trafficking and some sort of social or racial injustice. And I think the film is really trying to shed a light on that through this incredible story of these two amazing men, one fictionalized, one real life, John Newton, who wrote this song, the famous song called Amazing Grace, and how these stories are juxtaposed with each other in regard to racial social change and slavery, and we still have slavery after all these generations. It's still going on. Human trafficking is still going on, and I like the platform that these guys are using. The producers and the investors are building upon, because I think a film should be more than just something that garners big box office numbers and a lot of money and a lot of ticket sales. It should garner people getting involved and becoming more active, and the world around them, and trying to save human beings and be more empathetic and compassionate about the social and the racial injustices going on out there in the world. So I like the platform that they're using. Also, it's just one of those very interesting films that it's just that they're using music as a dramatic device for storytelling. And I haven't seen the film. I wasn't able to. I was in London at the time of the premiere in New York when they did a private screening. I heard amazing things about it. The trailer looks amazing, and I'm super excited about it. I think it being my first feature is so exciting, and also Peter Cousins, who directed it, the Aussie director, is also first-time director as well. So it's like. I think it's going to be an important film. I think we're going to find out what the numbers are in the next 4 days in Australia, and it's going to determine greatly whether this film is distributed in Europe as well as the United States. I think it's a film that should be seen. I really do, and I think it's a very unique film that uses music and really powerful storytelling to create something really cool cinematically. So I'm so stoked about it.
Well, Well, Bart, you know, it's something that you said, the use of music, and that's really what's caught my attention. There are like 4 different clips, I think, that you can hear on SoundCloud from the movie. The Amazing Grace that you mentioned. And there's a couple other tracks, and one that even you sing on. And I remember the last time we had you on the show, you had told us about the wagon ride, where this song comes from, and how there was a kind of a crazy mishap during the filming where the horses got spooked and the things got a little wonky. But I had that track queued up. It's called "I'm on My Way to Canaan's Land," and I love it, man. It's only about a minute and a half, and I wanted to let it spin.
Let it spin, brother.
Here it is.
I'm on my way to Canaan's land. To Canaan's land. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. To Canaan's land. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. I'm on my way. Praise the Lord. I'm on my way. It's a mighty hard road, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way. It's a mighty hard road. It's a mighty hard road, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way. It's a mighty hard road, but I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Thank the Lord, I'm on my way. If Father won't go, it won't hinder me. Won't hinder me. If Mother won't go, it won't hinder me. It won't hinder me. If Sister won't go, it won't hinder me. I'm on my way. Praise the Lord, I'm on my way. Now if you don't go, it won't hinder me. Won't hinder me. Now if you don't go, it won't hinder me. Won't hinder me. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to Canaan's land. I'm on my way. Yes, my Lord, to Canaan's land.
So there it is. I'm on my way to Canaan's land, man. Tell us about that track.
Yeah, dude, you didn't. There's a studio track that just came out, but that was actually the rough track. That's where you're hearing that little click. That was the rough track that I got. But you know, maybe later you can play the studio track. It's a little cleaner, but it's still people got an idea of what the song is. But listen, when I was called upon to was cast in the film, the first thing that I did was I went into the studio and recorded that song. It actually wasn't in the studio. It was in the music director's apartment in Upper Manhattan. Pretty much in his living room, believe it or not. It was, you know, I guess it was all done there and mixed there, man. And then Peter Cousins came in. I met for the first, actually after the audition, which was a month before that. But, you know, the director was there as well. And it's so interesting because he knew exactly where the song was in the context of the show, of the piece, of the film, the screenplay. And it was one of those situations where it's like, hey, you know, just sit here and sing it in the mic, talk and bark. Of course, I had to also sing with my buddy Luke Smith, who was also the other musician as well, who's an accomplished musician. But that's me singing backup, all the high harmony stuff. That's me singing backup as well. But Peter had to direct me through the song and say, listen, you know, this is when you're meeting the family for the first time. They're getting in the wagon. You have chains in the wagon. They're freaking out, thinking, you know, that we're a bunch of slave hunters. But we're actually there to take the family. We meet them in the clearing in the forest in Connecticut. We're taking the family to the first station. But we have to chain them up to make them, you know, people believe that, you know, we actually own these slaves. So once they get in the wagon very hesitantly, and Samuel's all pissed off, and Cuba's character's like, no, you know what, I'm not getting in that wagon, and you're not chaining me up. I'm just going to walk alongside it. And I'm trying to calm the family down and calm Cuba down. And finally, I put my hand out and said, come on up. And so I let him sit up in front where the horses are, you know, to kind of direct the wagon. The family gets in. Once we get rolling, I said, come on, boys, let's get this thing on the road here. And that's when we start playing. So Peter Cousins, the director, was like, this is a song about really calming this family down, of giving them hope that they are on their way to safety. This is an old spiritual, man. On my way to Canaan's land, which is, I'm on my way to freedom, and freedom to this family was Canada. So it was my job, not only as a subterfuge to kind of ward people off once we're playing on the wagon, to make people think that, we actually own these slaves, but also to calm the family down. So he was like, just imagine that there's this little boy huddled up next to his grandmother right across from me, and he's freaking out. He's all scared, and you got to really calm him down, make him laugh, make him smile, that everything's going to be okay. So it was very bizarre to do a song and be directed in a scene where you haven't filmed the scene and you haven't met the actors. And so 3 weeks later, we're actually filming the scene. And the song is already in the can. The song has already been done in the studio, and then we have to recreate that moment from the studio on set, in the wagon, in the forest, with the actors. So it was a really strange, bizarre way of doing it, but I'm hoping that it came out great in the film, and it's a really special moment, a kind of uplifting part of the film that hopefully is going to really land. So I'm glad that you played it. It's going to be really cool.
Well, Vic, I wanted to throw it over to you, homeboy. I'm sure you got some questions.
Bart, does your mind change, your mindset, or your method change between acting on stage and acting on, film?
Not really. No, I mean, I think it's harder to make a song land than it is just to do improv. Like the Terry Chainsaw stuff is just so easy to do as long as you know what the character's about and what he wants. But I had a lesson with my voice teacher, Anthony Ventura, from the Boardwalk Empire dude, who played Eddie Kessler opposite Steve Buscemi in Boardwalk Empire. He's my coach. He's sang with him for 30 years. I just had a 2-hour lesson with him today, and I was like, and I've got this audition for Person of Interest tomorrow for a really small role, and I'm like, and he was helping me, coaching me through the scene, and I'm like, I said, Anthony, this is so much easier than singing. I mean, to sit here and pretend like I'm getting beaten up, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. I don't know where they dumped it. That is it's so much easier to put your mind in that place rather than technically to sing and to make sure the pitch is perfect and, all that technical stuff you have to do with singing. Singing is friggin' hard. Musical theater is friggin' hard, dude. But just acting and just like doing film stuff is just like, it's just fun. So I think singing is just much more technical. It's a much more technical thing, but you're using different parts of your mind. It's just, your brain. But I enjoy both, man. But I can tell you one thing: it's freaking hard to sing.
Well, if you're watching Terry Chainsaw and your other comedic parts that you've done, it seems like it's almost more natural. When I see you do that. Is that something that's like more towards the core of you? Is just the outlandish and the craziness of the comedy? Is that something that I feel comfortable with in those roles? Yeah, I just like I like doing fearless stuff where I like playing characters that are really on the edge and just not your normal people. Characters like, the stuff that I would never compare, God rest his soul, Robin Williams, but the kind of really enigmatic characters that he plays, even his darker characters that he played in some of his non-comedy films, just really super eccentric, eclectic characters that are you just don't know what they're going to do from one minute to the next. And I just like those characters. I'm very attracted to those moments of spontaneity and impulsiveness, and I like that's what I'm attracted to. I can never just play like a straight leading man dude. There's always going to be some weirdness about what I do because I'm just a weird guy.
I got to tell you, man, I think my favorite roles, and Vic and I were talking about this earlier, that you have played are those just crazy roles, like Terry Chainsaw or Clark Jacob Dean, Thrice in The Detestables. I stumbled across that, and man, I just laughed my ass off. And dude, the diversity in what you do to go from Broadway to the silver screen and then to doing these short films. I mean, dude, you're a multi-talented guy, and I got to ask, I know you like the spontaneity. Can we look forward to seeing more stuff like Terry Chainsaw and Thrice from the Detestables?
I hope so, man. I mean, these guys, these kids, Tommy, who wrote the screenplay for this Terry Chainsaw vehicle, they're actually writing a feature for him, for the character, because there was so much response from showing this film that they were just really attracted to this Terry Chainsaw sort of loser character that I played, and he's got this personal thing with Danny Bonaducci is like a patron saint of his. He's this insane character. So they're writing a feature based on Terry Chainsaw, apparently. So I don't know where that's going to go, but they're in the talks of writing this summer. They gave me a call this summer and said, "Hey Bart, I just want to let you know that we're working on this feature and for it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys are probably stoned too, I'm sure." So they were probably stoned at the time. So let's just call Bart. Get that pizza, man. Or who ordered the pizza? Let's just call Bart and tell him we're going to do this. And I was like, dude, I said I'm flattered, and I said I'm on board, and it's a character that I love. I wish more people would see it. I wish it would be more of like a little YouTube sensation. But I also recorded some stuff with Terry Chainsaw, his motivational speaking stuff. That I sent to Tommy, that was just it's bizarre stuff that may have some YouTube presence as well. But I don't know. Let's see where it goes. I mean, like I said, these guys could be stoned most of the time. So young kids, well, you're like, yeah, we're gonna do a feature, and it's like, yeah, right. I'm sure you're gonna do a feature, man. Yeah, we're gonna get some money from they're both living at their parents' house, so it's like So how are you going to get anybody to? But they're the up and coming filmmakers. You just don't know what's going to happen with these guys because they become the next Steven Soderbergh and Spielberg. So you never know. You
never know. And we talked about your diversity, man. And another role you played this summer was Mr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll.
Yep.
And an iconic role, man. And dude, there's a song. I got another track queued up from that. A track called "This Is the Moment," and my God, dude, do you got like 4 lungs, or where do you get the wind for singing like that?
Well, I got to stand out among all the great singers, and I think my wheelhouse is holding notes out for like minutes. I think the longest note I ever held out was Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I think I held that for like 29 seconds. So I thought, hey, you know what? I must just reach into my pants and pull out my bag of tricks and see if this is going to work. But no, this is one of those shows now that it was a perfect vehicle for my vocal talent, and I had to work my ass off because I did 6 weeks of prep work with the show. With coaching with Anthony and coaching with my acting coach in New York. And I was like, this is going to be the hardest role I ever did. I didn't miss a performance. I did 7 performances for 3 weeks. My voice never tired. I never lost my voice. And it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. So hopefully people enjoy the track.
Well, I'm going to crank it up. We got about a minute snippet of it here, Bart, and it's called This Is the Moment. I mean, Jesus, dude, like, at any time did you feel like you were just going to pass the fuck out?
No, man. It was something like...
I mean, I could see you, just letting it rip, and you're just steadily falling over to the left. Boom!
I just like applause, I guess. I'm like, yeah, if I hold this thing out, maybe they'll applaud.
Fucking Jesus, son, that was awesome, man.
At about 15 seconds, I'd have passed out, shit in my pants, and somebody had been running through the crowd with a defibrillator.
And Vic Nasty, when you come out to see me in Peoria at the Cornstock tent, I'm going to have 2 girls from the cast give you a sponge bath before the show. We're going to provide the limo service. In fact, we're just going to give you a sponge bath in the limo on the way to the theater, so you're smelling good, you're looking good for my premiere, my opening night at Cornstock of the Secret Garden. So you...
Hey, I'm gonna be there with my ID just in case somebody listening is gonna be pretending to be me for that sponge bath, sons of bitches.
Oh shit. Well, Bart, as we were talking about singing, something that you had mentioned kind of slipped my mind until you mentioned it. Was your involvement with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I just saw something that caught my eye about their winter tour, and I think about as close, Vic, I'm thinking about as close that this winter tour is going to come to Peoria is Moline, Illinois, January 4th of 2015, and I saw that same night there's a show in Hartford, Connecticut as well, so I guess there's 2 different groups touring, and I'm telling you, Vic, motherfucking Bart Shatto better come to Moline, Illinois, or I'll be pissed.
Damn right.
Well, yeah, I'm so proud to be affiliated with this band. There are things that there are still some loose ends with the tour that I can't mention. It is, even though we've played to millions of people over the years, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because this is sort of an unauthorized interview that I haven't authorized with the office in New York. I'm not at liberty to talk too much or talk at all really about the tour and about everyone's involvement because there's still some loose ends. But any listeners out there, big TSO fans, and I hope you guys are, there's millions of them, you can contact me with any questions at my website at www.bartshatto.com, and I will answer them directly to you once I get official word of the office that I can do so, because they are very private, and the interview has to be authorized. And I'm sorry, this is not, and we haven't solidified a whole lot of things yet. They're still solidifying things, and whether I'm involved or not, my affiliation doesn't really matter. So come out, support the band. But if you have any specific questions about my affiliation with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, you can contact me via my website.
And again, that's www.bartshatto. It's SHATTO. .net? .com? .com. Mm-hmm. There you go, bartshatto.com. Don't fuck it up, Jesus. Well, Bart, I got 3 quick questions for you, man. I'm going to fire them at you at rapid succession. You ready?
3 quick answers. Let's go.
All right. Do you sing in the shower?
Yes, I warm up in the shower with my Anthony Latura tape. Yes, I do.
All right. Number 2, have you ever had a risky business moment at home? You know, when you come out of the shower in your underwear, slide across the floor and start dancing?
No, I haven't, because otherwise I'd get major carpet burn.
All right.
God damn it.
And number 3.
Third question.
And number 3, what is your ultimate role?
Ultimate role. Something that hasn't been created yet?
It doesn't matter whether it's not been created or maybe something that's been done that you've always wanted to play the lead in. Just what is your ultimate role?
Maybe porn. God damn it.
The best friend of a film featuring Tom Cruise, and I bang his girlfriend in it.
Nice.
It's the ultimate revenge. It's the ultimate revenge. But yeah, opposite Tom Cruise, I'm a good friend, but I still bang his girlfriend. So that was like the ultimate goal for me.
I love it, man. Well, listen, Bart, we've only got a few minutes left with you, man. Up next, we're going to be talking with Zach Piper about the Ebert movie, Life Itself.
Awesome.
And I wanted to throw it over to Vic Nasty. Vic, for any last questions or last words you might have for Bart.
Bart, I can't wait till you come back into town, catch you at Cornstock, and I'm always happy to see what you're doing next.
I can't wait to see you guys, man. Love you guys. You guys always have a great show, and I always love coming back. And I hope I can come back again. But if not, I'll see you guys in Peoria, and I will have the sponges ready for both of you.
Excellent. Well, Bart,
that's nasty.
For myself, Vic Nasty, and all of our listeners, everybody here in Peoria, man, we want to say thanks, brother, for taking the time tonight. You take care of yourself and be well, homeboy.
Love you, P-Town boys, man. We'll talk soon.
Peace out, homie.
Peace out, Bart.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
All right, Vic Nasty, Peoria native, homeboy of the show, Mr. Bart Shatto. It's always a fucking blast talking to that dude.
Bart's always set on go, Perm. He's never been on here when he's not ready, or set on go and just blowing the spot up. Love to have him on.
I'm telling you, man. You know, I look forward to his return to Peoria next summer. I really hope things work out. And as I said, you know, Cornstock's just around the corner from my house. So I'll definitely be able to get over there a couple of times to see a show, and I'm definitely down for the sponge bath, homie. We'll get the VIP treatment, dog.